This is One on One. Jessica Lappin is president of the Alliance for Downtown New York. Good to see you, Jessica.
Great to be here.
You were just telling me while we're at 66 and Broadway in the heart of Lincoln Center, you were born and raised where?
I was born and raised here in New York City. I was born in Brooklyn, but I grew up in Gramercy Park on 19th Street.
Good stuff. And tell us about the Alliance for Downtown New York. What is it and why is it so important?
Well, it's a business improvement district. It's the largest one in New York. And what we do, and we've been doing it for over 20 years, is try to make the neighborhood a more vibrant place to live, to work. We've had some ups and downs. We were formed in the 90s when people were leaving Wall Street in droves, when it was a ghost town with graffiti on the sidewalks and abandoned buildings. And we were just kind of hitting stride when 9/11 happened, and have worked really hard with our partners in government and the private sector to come back to where we are today.
Talk about the impact of 9/11 to the downtown community.
Well, I think it's hard to overstate it. You know, it was a tragedy for the country, but clearly for the people who lived there, for the owners, for the businesses, it was devastating. And what's so remarkable to me is that, you know, if you looked at the headlines from that time that said people would never live there, that businesses would never come back. Never. That not only are we back, we have far exceeded what you could ever have imagined. And that has been, to me, I think, the best part of the success story.
Who's there? Who's coming? Who's deciding to be there?
Well, what's changed is, you know, people think of it as the financial district. I don't even like to call it that anymore because, you know, we went from being 55% financial services companies to now we're about 35%. That's it. The whole south side of Wall Street is now residential.
It's residential.
Residential. People live on almost the entire south side of Wall Street today, which is remarkable. So who's come? Condé Nast, Time Inc., the Associated Press. We have major advertising companies like Group M, which is one of the biggest in the world. So this influx of advertising, media, publishing has really changed the look and feel. It's people who work different hours, who are wearing hoodies, fashionistas, you know, and some would argue kind of the tastemakers for the country. Condé Nast is Vogue, and you've got Cosmopolitan at Time, and the New Yorker, just companies that really kind of influence what we all, you know, how we view things.
How did you find yourself into that job? You formerly served in the New York City Council for 8 years?
I did. I represented East Midtown, the Upper East Side, and Roosevelt Island for 8 years, which I loved. It's a great opportunity to really not just work in and for your community, but for a region and for the city. And so it was wonderful. I decided to run for borough president of Manhattan in 2013, which didn't quite pan out for me. And as I started to think about what I wanted to do next, I had this just tremendous opportunity to be kind of right at the heart of public and private and working with people to sort of use the perspective I had from being in government to try and make a different neighborhood more vibrant. And it's been, you know, just a wonderful time to be there because even in the last 3 years, the changes are pretty dramatic.
So interesting. I mentioned that we're over here at 66 and Broadway at the Tisch WNET studio. And this community, I mean, every time we're here, this is so vibrant. You can see what's going on outside, and there's good things going on here all the time. But it strikes me that Manhattan is so many different neighborhoods. How would you describe the difference between where we are right now and the community that you are supporting with this initiative?
Well, I think that's the beauty of New York City, is that we have these gems, these local neighborhoods that each have their own flavor. I think ours is one that's very much in transition, whereas the Upper West Side has a long-standing sort of history and tradition. Some would say is the bastion of liberal thinking.
Some might say.
Some might say. And you've got Lincoln Center here in terms of the arts and culture. I think what you're seeing downtown is, you know, it's the oldest neighborhood in the city, right? And it has evolved over hundreds of years. And, you know, it's a place where nobody used to live, and now we have roughly 60,000 residents who are pushing baby carriages and sending their kids to school and clamoring for more school seats, as they should. You have new businesses who are there. We have our own performing arts center that is in the works. Ronald Perlman has just given $75 million to build at the World Trade Center site, the Ron Perlman Performing Arts Center. Barbara Streisand has agreed to chair the board. So we'll have our own big cultural hub in the future, which will change things. So, we're still a bit in transition, although we've made a lot of progress.
Go back to the World Trade Center piece to this. The World Trade Center Transportation Hub.
The Calatrava Hub, yeah.
Talk about that.
Well, I think it's beautiful. It's a soaring structure that is white marble on the inside. It is, talk about an amazing place to commute in and out of every day. And for the people who do come in from New Jersey, roughly 50,000 people who live in Lower Manhattan, what a way to start and end your day. To come through, we have 2 path lines that come right through. And at the end of the day, you can pick up a bottle of wine or a baguette from Daniel Boulou, a very famous chef.
He was right here sitting in that
Was he?
seat
We
just a
love
couple years ago.
Daniel. We love Daniel. He's great. He just opened a little bakery and a pizzeria in the World Trade Center site. And that's been really heartening to see, too. The chefs, celebrity chefs, who would have really mocked the neighborhood 2, 3, 4 years ago, who've all come down. Tom Colicchio is closing his a meatpacking restaurant and just opened a big restaurant downtown. Keith McNally, Daniel Boulou, Wolfgang Puck, the list goes on and on. They want to be a part of it because it's an incredible moment of transformation, and it's a cool place to be.
By the way, before I let you out here, commuters, Jersey, those on the Jersey side, along the river, if you will. Talk about that commute, how accessible.
Oh, it's fantastic. If you're in Jersey City or Hoboken, Monmouth County.
Weehawken.
Yeah, you're there in 15 minutes. We've got 2 path trains, 2 lines. Literally, I have somebody who works for me who lives in Jersey City. It's 14 minutes is his commute, right? And then you've got ferries that run as well. We have 20 ferries that come into Lower Manhattan.
I love them.
So, when the path is down, which happens from time to time, you can take the ferry or vice versa. So it's really been a very attractive place for people in New Jersey, and our job growth numbers and our projections through the end of this decade are really off the charts, and we're going to have more and more people commuting into this beautiful transit hub.
Well done. Wish you nothing but the best. Jessica Lappin, who is the president of the Alliance for Downtown New York. Thank you so much for joining us here in the heart of Lincoln Center.
Thank you.
You're right, Manhattan, New York City has so many different hubs, if you will, neighborhoods. Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this. That's great.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Wells Fargo, Caldwell University, Suez, Ready for the Resource Revolution, Hackensack Meridian Health, Hackensack University Medical Center Foundation, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by Century 21 Construction. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.